What would you guys do if you lost all your money sports betting? If you went absolutely down to zero, what would you guys do? What's up guys, Frank with Linemaker Sports here. Now, this is what this video is about. If you went down to zero, if you lost all of your bankroll, how would you start over? How would you redo it? Because honestly guys, I've been in this predicament multiple times when I first started out sports betting, where I went all the way down to zero, then had to go all the way back up again, all right? And it happens a lot. So I know some of you out there you probably have went through the same exact thing that I went through as well, all right? So I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly in this video what I would do personally if I went down to zero, lost all my bankroll, and had to start over again. Also, if you guys do like these videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up, guys. Hit the like button, hit that notification bar, and hit subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you want to become a better sports bettor. And in the description as well, if you guys are interested in Linemaker Sports, our picks, our plays, any of that stuff, go in there. The link is in there. Click the link and check out our website. Also, if you need a sports book to bet on, anything to do with a sports book, if you're interested in one, we have partnered up with BetUS. All right, the link is in the description as well. Anywhere in the US, you can bet using BetUS. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna jump over to the whiteboard. I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what I personally would do if I went down to zero and came back up. So let's jump over to the whiteboard. Let's knock it out. What's up guys, Frank with Linemaker Sports here. Now, here we go. Let's talk about it. What would you do if you went down to zero, you had to restart, and you had to go all over again with a new bankroll, everything, all right? This happened to me multiple times early on in my career as a sports bettor. Now, reasons why this happened was because didn't use bankroll management, was playing parlays, didn't have enough money. I just was all over the place playing like a losing sports bettor, all right? Like 99% of the people out there. This is what these videos are for. They're for that 99% to try to get you guys to do the right thing, all right? So early on in my career, easily was just throwing money away left and right, kept going back down to zero. I'm thinking, is this even possible? Why do I keep losing? I don't understand why I keep losing. What am I doing wrong? Well, here's the thing. You always got to just go into the details and figure out what you're doing wrong, and you got to fix them, because famous quote like Albert Einstein once said, you can continue to do the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result is absolutely insane, all right? Because you got to switch things up, and you got to figure out the reasons behind why is this not working. You got to be able to figure out. You can't just give up and quit and go home and start crying. You can't do that. You got to figure it out, all right? So let's figure it out for those of you out there that are maybe starting over or are on the brink of starting over, all right? Let's get to it. So first thing I want to talk about now is, if you got $0, obviously you are working a job, all right? Because how else are you making money? There's no other way you're really making money, so you should have a job. Now, the job is when you take your paycheck from your job, all right? That you get paid every week or 2 weeks or however you get paid, split it up. Now, you might see a 50-30 rule, what I have on here. Now, this is just a rule in financing that they teach you, but you should have 50% of your paycheck goes to your needs, 30% goes to the things you want, 20% goes to savings usually. So we switch that up now, and we're going 20% is going to be your bankroll. So instead of just putting that in your savings, put it in your bankroll, because your bankroll can be a savings account as well. All right, it actually is basically a savings account, but you get better ROI on a bankroll betting on sports than you do with your money just sitting in a savings account in a bank doing nothing. It just sits there. That's why we switch this out, and we're showing you guys that it is bankroll. First thing, gotta have a job, because there's no other way to make money, all right? You need to have a job to start off. Everybody starts somewhere. You gotta have that sure paycheck to make sure you can go ahead and take that money, put it aside to do something else with it, all right? It's just a vehicle to hop in and take you somewhere else. That's all it is. 50-30-20 rule. As soon as you grab your paycheck, 50% goes to your bills, 30% goes to you having fun, going and getting what you want, treating yourself a little bit. 20% is going to go to your bankroll, all right? Once we hit that mark, then we're going to move on, and we're going to get to step 2. All right, guys, here we go. Second step now to start from nothing. Now, your second thing is you're going to want to save anywhere from $250 to $1,000 in that savings account, all right? Shouldn't be that tough for you. As long as you're not touching that money and you're just in there building it up, and you keep going and keep going and keep going, it's going to build up. Your savings account's going to build up, and you're going to get anywhere from $250 to $1,000, all right? Now, I have this circled here because I just spoke about this. Learn from your mistakes, all right? Because why do you want to keep going back to zero again and then doing the same thing over again and then just going right back down to zero again, all right? So you have to learn. You have to learn from what you did wrong. What you did wrong in the time before, critique it and try to avoid that. As soon as you critique it and you try to avoid that, then you'll be able to move further and progress. All right, guys, here we go. So number 3, now you got your money set aside, you're ready to go. Let's go and let's place some bets, all right? How are we gonna place these bets? All right, we're gonna place these bets. We're only gonna do 3. We're gonna do 3 of them. We're gonna stay disciplined here, all right? We're not gonna go crazy and we're gonna bet 5, 7, 10 games a day. We're not, because we're trying to take the levels to this, all right? We're trying to slowly bring our bankroll back to a steady level off point, which I'll get to. But to start it off, 3 bets per day, and let's try to go at 5% your unit size, which is a little bit risky, but if you have a $250 savings that you're using as your bankroll, we got to be a little bit of aggressive. So we're going to be a little aggressive in the beginning here to try to build it up just a little bit, you know, because we do want to build, like if you're doing 1 to 2% and we only got a $250 bankroll, you're not getting anywhere really right off the bat. Like you're going to be kind of like just a little bit of money here and there, and then you'll probably get frustrated and you'll probably tilt or do something stupid again. So we don't want anything that's going to trigger bad habits. All right, so we're trying to stay away from the bad habits, and we're going to bet 3 games per day, 5% of your unit size, and let's try to get this up a little bit. Let's get that bankroll up. Let's try to get it at a steady point so you're never going to have to worry about getting back to 0 ever again. So number 4, now once we get that bankroll to $1,000, all right, we get it up to 1,000 or more, so that's why I got plus 1,000 here. When we get to that, I got this in bold, level off. All right, guys, that means we're going to take the conservative approach and hit that 1 to 2%. We take our foot off the gas a little bit, hit the 1 to 2% unit size, and roll with that. The reason being is because once we reach this threshold, which is a massive turning point here, once we reach that, we don't have to worry about going to 0 ever again. Reason why is because 1 to 2% of your bankroll as your unit size, when you have 1,000 or more, now there's 2 things that can happen to make this totally disappear, for your bankroll to totally disappear. So if we avoid these 2 things, it's never gonna happen, okay? It'll never happen again to you in your whole entire sports betting life. First thing is, you make a mistake, do not go out and do what we're saying behind us, and you go and tilt, bet more money than you need to, chase your losses of what happened, and you lose your bankroll. Second thing is using what we tell you with the unit size, but somehow you go on a roll of about 20 straight losses, 20 to 25 straight losses or so. That's pretty unheard of though, guys. That's just something that's kind of hard. Like you got to be on a pretty cold streak to be hitting 20, 25 straight losses, because that's just insane. But if that does happen, that could take you to 0, all right? So we're not saying it's totally impossible, but it's near impossible that you're gonna lose this. You lose your bankroll now once you reach this threshold. Now, another thing that comes down to mindset, all right? Your mindset, very important, because once you reach this level, you gotta think, you gotta stay disciplined, all right? If you don't, you're gonna tilt, you're gonna do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing again. You're just gonna go off the wagon and you're gonna go right back down to 0 again, all right? So get your mind right. Get your mind right, all right, guys? You gotta know, you gotta stay disciplined, you gotta stay consistent with it. You gotta keep going and building your bankroll and keep it going, and you gotta stay conservative now, because once you're conservative, you're not gonna lose this, all right? You're gonna keep it, you're not gonna have to start over again. There's gonna be the ups and downs that always happen in sports betting, all right? This is gonna happen in the games, all right? There's gonna be ups and downs. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have the losing days, you're gonna have the winning days. As long as you still have those days and you aren't 0 and don't have no days because you ain't got no money to do anything, you're gonna be all right, all right? You're gonna be able to build this up, and you're gonna be pretty confident in your sports betting game again, and you're gonna realize that it is possible to make money at sports betting rather than always being negative and thinking sports books are just out to kill me, they're out to just take my money and that's that, or the bookies are out to get me, or it's just, you got to change the mindset, guys, all right? Change your mindset, more positive things are going to happen, all right? Always think positive, always think on the positive side, because when you project the negative stuff, that's probably what's going to happen. Once again, number 4, once we get to 1,000 or more as our bankroll, level off, autopilot mode. We're going to go 1 to 2% of our bankroll and just cruise. So it's very important. This is the turn point in your sports betting life, all right? Because at this point, you should never get back down to 0 ever again. So now this is going to be our goal for where we try to hit, all right? So we're going to aim for 55%, all right? Very conservative number there, all right? If you've seen other our videos, our goal is to hit 60%. But what we're doing here, we're chilling it out a little bit. Why? Because you're starting over from 0. So we're not setting this humongous goal that we're gonna get disappointed if we don't hit. All right, we're gonna hit the 55% mark and we're gonna try winning at that. Slowly, gradually, like I said, autopilot the bankroll and just let it keep going up. Now, I do advise, this is a very important thing in this step too. While you bet, your 3 bets per day or however you're doing it, okay? When your losses occur, because it will happen. There's gonna be days you go 2-1, 3-0, 0-3, 1-2. They're gonna happen, all right? No matter what you bet, there's gonna be losses. When those losses occur, you have to critique these losses and see where you went wrong. You have to know that did you miss a certain stat when you were researching these games? Did you bypass something that was very important and you missed it and it caused you to lose that match or to handicap it the wrong way? You have to be able to look at your losses because, believe me, not too many people do this. Why? Because when you lose a bet, you just turn your head and you're disappointed and you're like, oh, screw that game. But you have to look at them and be like, why did I lose? Let me see why I lost. Now, could be no reason, honestly. There could be a loss for no reason, and some of those are called bad beats, all right? This happens all the time as well. Believe me, this has happened so many times to us that it's incredible, all right? Stupid stuff happens in a game where you're on the right side, you made the right bet, you still end up losing, all right? This happens. It happens a lot too, all right? That is part of the discipline strategy there, because as soon as that happens and your mindset starts screwing with you and you're like, I was on the right side of the bet. I can't believe I lost that. Just because of something stupid, how did I lose that? Now you're like, oh man, your mind's going and you're like, oh, I gotta go and put more money now down and everything. Nope, shut it off. Just completely forget about that, all right? When stupid stuff happens, because it will, you gotta just realize you were probably on the right side of that bet and it's just a bad beat, something happened, on to the next day, all right? That's just the way it goes. But for those losses that are substantial, that you can look and critique really, and you gotta see what's up and the reason why it really happened, you really have to go deep down in the stats and check it out. For the reason why is because you could find where you made a mistake or what you overlooked, and that could help you for future bets, all right? For future games, you can go and critique exactly where your losses are. And you could realize, believe me, because when you do this, you'll be surprised that you actually see that you overlooked something, all right? So now, if you're not overlooking at anything before you make any of these bets, that's a whole other category that we got to go over with, guys, all right? Because you should be doing research. If you're not doing your own, obviously, yeah, like if we're doing it for you, then it's our responsibility, right? So just like if you're doing it on your own, that's your responsibility. You have to learn where your losses came from. All right, and why did you lose those bets? Very important, because you can learn from those. Once you learn from those, you'll see for future bets, it helps you out, because you'll be like, oh, I overlooked a points per game defense on this one team. Guess what? I'm probably never going to do that again. I'm going to always look at that when I'm handicapping that game, because it cost me a loss the one time because I ignored that fact that defense was so shitty, and then I look and they ended up getting blown out, and I didn't even get nowhere close to winning the. All right, so very important thing to do. Your losses, each and every one of your losses, make sure you review them and see exactly why you lost that game. All right, guys, so as for number 5, there you go. We got to aim for 55%, and one of the most important things is learning from our losses. Once we learn from our losses, it will help us in future sports bets. All right, guys, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video and were able to grab some value from that, and it does help you in your sports betting career. If you did, like us and like everybody else, went down to 0 and had to start over again, all right? So make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you did enjoy that. Also, comment section, make sure you guys let us know. Put your stories down there. We're interested to see what you guys got to say. And if any videos that you want us to do in the future, make sure you tell us down below as well, all right? Also, hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell for the notifications so that way you guys are notified every time we put one of these videos out. Speaking of subscriptions, we do want to thank everybody that we have reached 2,000 subscribers already. So we do want to thank everybody out there, and we have gotten a lot of love in the comments as well, as people are enjoying these videos, and it is helping them become a better sports bettor. That's exactly the goal. All right, guys, that is the goal for us here. We're trying to make everybody better at betting on sports because it's something everybody loves to do. All right, guys. So once again, thank you guys for the 2,000 subscribers. As always, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.